Welcome to 30 Frames a Second. I'm your host, Greg Lassiter. We have a great show for you today, so don't touch the dial, don't go anywhere.
I was coming back from the Wood and Nickel to get my dad a Father's Day gift. They were closed, it was Sunday, so I decided to turn back around and head home. It was about 103 degrees. I had 3 water bottles in my backpack, and I stopped right behind me, right by the sign, to take a sip, and then I turned around and there were 3 cop cars. And one of the officers already had a gun drawn at me. They asked me, was I inside the store? And I told them no. And then they asked me if I was sure. And I was like, yeah. I turned to another officer who was in front of me, Officer Vasquez. And I told him, I said, sir, what's going on? And then he was like, give me the backpack. And then I was like, do you have a warrant? And then he pointed behind me and he said, look. So I looked behind me and it was a big canine dog. And then I got scared, and then I was like, here, just take the backpack, just take the backpack. And then after that, he grabbed me by my wrist like this, and then he grabbed me by my neck, punched me, and then he threw me onto the ground, and then that's when the canine came and started eating at my leg. They rolled me around. Officer Vasquez put his knee in my back, and I told him I couldn't breathe, and then he put his other knee in my head. And I told him, I can't breathe, and then I started yelling out, somebody help me, they're gonna kill me. And then finally, he let me up, he tied my hands behind my back, and then he tied my feet together and he threw me in the back of the car. And on my way going back to the car, I heard somebody say, that's not the guy, that's not the guy.
Well, she actually called while she was in the hospital, and I thought she was joking because she was like, Mom, I'm in a hospital, the police beat me, and the dog bit me.
I was like, wow. I'm like, let me talk to the officer. And so the officer got on the phone and I asked him what happened, and he told me that it was mistaken identity. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, is she okay? And he was like, well, she's alive and she's in the hospital.
My daughter is a very responsible young lady. She works, she loves life. There was no reason for this to happen to her.
They never told me why they stopped me, but after they beat me and threw me in the cop car, that's when they told me, explained that there was some guy with a machete that was inside the grocery store, and they were looking for him, and I matched the description.
She's not the same person since that happened. I brought her here the other day because we were looking for the gentleman that even told the officers that that's not the guy, and they still continue to beat her and have the dogs on her after he told them. They ran him back in the store.
I read the paper, my paperwork fell, and it said that I shoved an officer and I flipped him on his back.
They would say that my daughter attacked them. Come on. She's 5'2", 115 pounds soaking wet, and that she attacked a 200-pound man.
There were dogs and guns drawn on me. Like, I would never do anything like that.
Every day I have to change her bandages, and I see the injuries that she has. It's really hard for me.
On Monday, we kind of did our own little investigation. We came to the store, spoke with the manager. He told me that the police had actually caught the guy that had the machetes. And that's what's a shame. I don't know for sure, but the guy probably didn't have a scratch on him.
He still tried to handcuff me and flip me over while the dog was still biting me, and I'm yelling out like, I didn't do anything, I'm a female, like, why are you doing this to me?
Why should my daughter be charged with a crime? All she did was stop to drink some water because it was 100 and something degrees. That's ridiculous.
We gotta find a way not to let this kind of thing happen ever, ever. If a kid can't stop on a bicycle and take a drink of water just to take a break.
She was coming home to celebrate Father's Day with me. It's not right. It's not right.
I'm telling you is that I will not abrogate my right. That's true. I understand that. Under any circumstance.
Greg Lassiter, here with no other than the great Nat Wood.
Adjust your television set. You are fortunate enough to have tuned in to 30 frames a second.
You have spun that into the fact where the victim is now the perpetrator and the perpetrator is now the victim. And that just drives me crazy.
Okay, welcome back to 30 Frames a Second. As I said, I'm Greg Lassiter, and I'm here with the great Nat Wood. I'm just, hold on a second. Guys, you just witnessed, I don't even know what to say, man. Put it like this. If that was my child, I would be dead or in jail. Because I would get my own justice. I would get my own justice. I don't even know what to say to that.
A few things happened since we were here last week. That happened. And I don't know if the viewers saw the description of the gentleman that they said, the gentleman. But the description of the gentleman was like 5'10", almost a 6-foot man.
Right.
Transient looking, so he was homeless looking.
Right.
With a machete, 160 pounds.
Bald-headed.
Bald-headed with a goatee.
Right. That's me.
Right.
I'm not transient, but that looks like me.
Well, right.
6'2",
If he was homeless looking.
Right.
The description of this young lady is barely over 5 feet tall, barely 115 pounds. I don't know what kind of machete she could have in her backpack. I can't imagine how you put a machete in your backpack. The policeman sicked the dog on her. Like it's Liza from Uncle Tom's Cabin.
Right.
And this happened on Father's Day.
Right.
Last week in South Carolina, a 9-year-old boy, a 9-year-old African-American boy was playing with some little toy-looking gun in front of his own house.
Right.
And the cop car came up and stopped the little boy, told him to come over, made him come over, and he's a little boy.
Right.
I mean, he didn't backtalk the cop. He didn't say anything to the cop. He did exactly what the cop said. Commenced to handcuff the 9-year-old boy. Charged him, and I've never heard of this charge before, so somebody's going to have to tell me exactly what this means. Playing illegally.
You know what? You know what, Nat?
Said he had a report that somebody was throwing rocks. There were no rocks nowhere near the little boy. The little boy wasn't throwing no rocks. I don't know. The houses was way on the other side of wherever, so if that kid could actually hit a house with a rock from that distance, the Yankees should sign him up, or the Mets or somebody.
This is totally out of control. I don't see.
And when the mother came out to find out what they were doing with the kid, he handcuffed the mother and put the mother in the back of the car too.
See, listen, Nat. Okay. This is where we need to take our community back.
Correct.
We need to take our community back.
Correct.
And taking our community back means that we have to police our community. The neighborhood watch, we should be a part of that. You should be a part of your own neighborhood watch. Because that shouldn't happen, man. I am totally seriously devastated by the Tatiana. Because I'm pissed in a lot of ways. That shouldn't have happened. And that cop should be automatic. There's no investigation. They were wrong. The description was way off. She didn't backtalk them. She has every right to say what she had to say. And they beat her?
Yeah, since when can't you backtalk? I mean, what is this chattel slavery stuff that you can't say anything, you can't do anything? If they just want to strip you naked and screw you in the middle of the street. You just supposed to let them do whatever they want to do, and you can't say anything. And if you say anything, you get beat down.
What is resisting arrest?
What is this?
Let me tell you something.
I mean, what is this?
You know what? I'm not.
And it's only for us.
Right.
I mean, in Minnesota, a black cop killed a white woman. They done charged his ass.
Already.
His ass is grand.
No, he's done. He's a wrap.
Right.
I think they still have the death penalty there.
Yeah, they going. His ass is deaded.
This incenses me in a lot of ways. One, let's just say from the parent standpoint, I'm not that calm. I wouldn't. Her dad was like the passive aggressive. That doesn't work for me. That doesn't work for me. Right now, the whole justice system is just us. That's what the justice system is. The justice, she may be blind, but she's definitely a racist, because that right there is. I just can't even. I need to calm down, because I would take matters into my own hands. I want a cop to. I don't even know what to say, man.
You made a reference to taking our community back. But taking our community back. Actually, it's been a while since we've had control of our community in any aspect of the game. But before we can reclaim our community, we have to reclaim our minds. We are out of our minds.
Yes, we are.
While this was going on, to show you how far we have deviated, and this is the reason why anybody and everything can attack us with impunity, because we do not have control of our minds.
Right. You're absolutely right.
While this is going on, and the little boy was just last week. Tatiana Hargrove
June 19th.
was that was
19th.
Father's Day.
June 19th. Yeah.
But while this is going on, and this is all since we were here last week.
Last weekend, 7 days.
In Chicago over the weekend, they had a shooting fest. 76 people were killed, including a 9-year-old and a 58-year-old anti-violence activist.
Right. I saw that on the 4th of July weekend, over 100.
Right.
104 over the 4th of July.
Wow.
I don't, we need to see a lot of this. I think.
In Brooklyn,
the two black women.
Two black women were shot to death. A 21-year-old mother.
Right.
We have lost our ever-loving minds, and it's and the world is more aggressive toward black people than ever before. We have to reclaim our. We can't take our community until we take ourselves back.
That's correct.
And we have acquiesced to the madness to such a degree that I think in a lot of ways it's like Stockholm syndrome.
It really is. And that, you know what? I think it all stems from. See, where we lost our mind is we're allowing other people and we're allowing ourselves to use the N-word.
Correct.
Let me tell you what.
Correct.
Now, if we're walking around saying the
and
N-word
defending it,
and we go walking around saying that, the whole world thinks we're ignorant and they could disrespect us.
Right.
And that's what's happening.
Right.
That's exactly what's happening.
Right.
If you see,
and it's not just the N-word, because I mean, if you're producing a product, an artistic product, there are times when the use of any word is appropriate.
Okay.
I mean, if you're shooting a movie about slavery or about prison or something like that,
right. Understandably so. Not rap music.
But this is gratuitous usage, which only serves to denigrate black people. As a whole,
right?
And not only do they do it, they have actually given white people permission to do it. Like white people needed permission,
right. But I'm saying,
but
they say
to call you that.
But you know what? I saw a white guy walking down the street the other day, running down the street, calling his buddy.
Right.
The N-word.
Right.
Yo, my nigga.
Right.
You know, I ran up to him and I said, dude, have you lost your mind? What, man? Everybody else uses it. No, everybody else doesn't use it. That doesn't give you permission to use it. See, if we don't stop it, you know what? I don't let that. I don't let that go. I don't care who it is.
My main concern is because, like I said before, I am not overly concerned by what they do.
Right.
Because they are going to do
Right, what they want to
do.
do. Right, right.
But our response has been very, very, very dysfunctional.
Right.
And we justify it by saying, well, this is what sells. Well, they're selling it specifically because you are perpetrating death on your own
Self
community.
and people. Right.
Yourself in your own community. It's self. Hey, when the policeman, when the white policeman got out of his car and handcuffed a 9-year-old kid for playing in the street, he was sending a message to that kid.
Right.
Get used to this.
Right. And that's unacceptable, Nat.
Correct.
That's unacceptable.
Correct.
And you cannot let it go. See, you know me, I don't let anything go.
Right.
And see, if you look at it, let's look at it a little bit deeper, Nat. You look at all the unarmed black men that's been killed.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
And
I'm glad you said unarmed black men, because armed black men tend not to get killed.
Right.
You know, a couple of them got killed that shot themselves after killing a whole bunch of people, including the police.
But think about this. If you think about the psychology behind it. Now, if we kill young black men, they can't reproduce.
And if we totally corrupt their minds and their spirits, what difference does it make that they reproduce?
But see, that's the whole thing. That people need to look at it, the bigger picture of it.
Right.
You know, but we also have to stop and have some self-respect.
And we're short-handed. Generally, we have stopped taking phone calls. But if Sheila can handle it, and Sheila is like literally doing everything by herself. If Melvin's still in there, you can ask Melvin.
Let's take some calls. Let's take some calls.
You can ask Melvin if he can go.
Put up the number. Put up the number, you guys.
She got to do a whole lot of stuff to the teleprompter. As you can see, somebody wrote a book. But if Melvin's still here, he can ask somebody to
clear it out,
to make it so that we can take phone calls, because they got to open that up.
And this show is live. But
Right.
We
and
need
this is a good one to take phone calls on, because I would like input from one or two people on the gravity of the things that we are being confronted with.
But we need to desperately get on this, because if we don't get on this, we're losing.
Correct.
We've already lost. We lost a couple of generations. We lost to drugs. We lost to jobs. We're desperately losing here. Now it's an annihilation. It's an assassination on black men. I'm a black man. You're a black man. We're fortunate enough and blessed enough to know that policemen don't come at us like that. You know.
This is a new. This is a relatively new thing. I mean, police were always formidable,
right?
And they could always be violent. But now they are violent for no apparent reason toward little kids in schools. I mean, it's just the total degradation of a people, including their women and children.
And then it's like no regard. It's like back to the 50s all over again.
It's almost like no. This is more like back to the 1850s. This is more like the fugitive slave laws.
Yeah, and we need to stop it though, Nat. But you know what? We do this every week. But please, people, I'm begging you, Nat's begging you. We need to take ourselves back.
Right. That is the most important thing.
I know common sense.
That is more important than anything.
Common sense is not so common, but it's not that hard.
Right.
You need to, when your kid is doing something wrong, we need to teach our children respect, self-respect.
Let me say this categorically, as one who knows, as one who has been through it all. You can claw your way back from poverty.
Yep.
You can claw your way back from drugs. You can claw your way back from abuse. You cannot claw your way back from a loss of your mind and your total self-respect.
Right.
If you have lost all respect for yourself, if you get to a place where you don't think you are worth anything, it is very, very difficult to come back from that.
But it's not impossible, though.
None of it is impossible, but you have to regain what it is you lost.
Yes.
You have to start believing that you are worth something. And when you start believing you are worth something, you cannot acquiesce to a system that keeps reiterating that we are worth nothing.
Right. And it also starts, and I need to cut you off, it also starts with how you treat your kid.
But that is the worth something part. That is the worth something part.
When you know what? I stopped this lady the other day. I just won't let it go. This little kid must have been maybe 4.
Right.
And she called him every name but the child of God.
Right.
That can't happen.
But that kid is being raised by people in an environment where the people don't believe that they are worth anything.
Right.
So that they have what they have passed on to the child is that same sense of not being worth anything, and it becomes manifest in the way that
it perpetuates.
You're passing on a curse until you believe that you have value, indeed, that you can accomplish what you will. Like Marcus Garvey said, "Up ye mighty race, you can accomplish what ye will."
Right.
You can do anything you want to do. If you honestly believe that the only thing you can accomplish is basically some hand-me-down from some omnipotent white god, a.k.a. make it in rap, a.k.a. Get a job in the police force, a preach of some sort, something that is white folks approved.
Right. And we got to stop that. Stop.
But that is not accomplishing what you will.
Right.
What you will is if and it has nothing to do with money.
Right. That's exactly. I was going to say that.
If your heart's desire is to open up a hardware store, you can accomplish that. But it first must start from you believing you can.
You can only achieve what your mind believes.
Correct.
And but I tell people this every day, man. Every single day of my life, it's like you can't talk to a kid like that because you broke his spirit.
Correct.
And he would grow up with no self-worth.
Correct.
Okay, you have to. It's like the whole welfare thing in the 70s. You saw. The mom was on welfare, and then the kid's going to be on welfare, and so on and so on and so on.
Right.
You have to break the chain.
Which is not what immigrants actually do.
Right.
Immigrants tend to elevate the generation.
Right. Exactly.
So they'll come over with a paper bag and a stick. And do whatever they have to do, and in a couple of generations, they produce doctors and lawyers and politicians. But then they have a sense of identity that we seem to no longer have in trying to assimilate.
But in the Asian community, I was talking to a couple of Asian friends of mine.
Right.
And the Asians do this. It's about 10 to 50 in their community.
Right.
And they all pitch in $10,000.
Right.
To somebody start a business.
Right.
All right?
Right.
We go in and start a business, and then a year later, it's another person's turn and another person's turn. And they only let their family.
And it's always Asian.
It's always Asian.
Because we got a couple of those, a few of those places. And the Arabs are doing it.
The Arabs are doing it.
The faces change, but not the ethnic identity.
Right.
So
they still have their friends work, their family work there, and they're very, very close friends.
That is correct.
So we, as a community, man, we used to do that.
Right.
And we've done that all our lives.
We're the only ones who are not doing it. When I was going on trips all the time, I dealt with this organization that was handling trips when we were going to the Caribbean. And they handled all the press junkets to a couple of islands in the Caribbean. And the owner of the place was a white female. Everybody who works in that organization is a white female.
Right. See?
You know, not a female, a white female.
That was purposely done.
But that's purposely done.
Right.
We are the only ones who first. But granted, all of the white females who have been given opportunity are crackerjack.
Right.
They are smart as hell.
Right.
They come early. They stay late.
Right. And don't complain.
Right. So you can't displace them because they are inept.
Right. And
You can challenge the fact that this white woman hired all white women.
Right. But they're all smart.
All of these white women
are smart and on
came
their game.
prepared to succeed,
Right.
and the company has done nothing but grown. So the challenge is twofold.
Right.
When it comes to us, we have to make opportunity for ourselves, but we have to be prepared for that opportunity every time we make one. We have to come early, and we have to stay late, we have to be prepared to compete and succeed against all opposition.
But you know what, Nat? We as a race, if you look at our history, as you say, we come from greatness.
Correct.
We come from greatness.
Correct.
And it bugs me and it bothers me that us black people, you know, we don't want to go to work on time. We don't want to go to work.
Our fall from grace seems to coincide with the assimilation that took place after the civil rights struggle.
Right. 68, 70, in the 70s.
But that's the 70s.
Yeah,
the 70s. Basically after 76.
Right.
and you could tell the music changed. We went from Wake Up Everybody to the Double Dutch Bus.
NWA.
Right. That was the 80s, and then by the 90s it just went crazy. It just went debauched.
But if we know our history, Nat, and this is why I tell black people, I'm specifically talking to black people, is this: we come from greatness.
Right.
Know your history. Once you figure out that we come from greatness and you know your self-worth, and there's nothing wrong with working hard, nothing wrong with staying late, coming early, because it's a sense of accomplishment and what you want to achieve. I don't think we're not afraid of failure. I think we're afraid of success.
No. Well, there's a few things happening that I believe. But I might be wrong. It's a belief. There's a lot of resentment toward each other. Our condition has become manifest in a sort of self-hating way.
Right.
And we perpetrate that on generation after generation.
But where does that come from, Nat? Let's talk about the root of the problem, because, like you say, okay. In the 70s, in the 60s, in the 70s, they were single parent households. So I'm not gonna blame it on.
I think, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I kind of think that the core of it, comes from the fact that we have a history of being abused. First through captivity.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they invented a condition for trying to escape slavery. They call it drapetomania.
Right.
They also had a cure for it, because they said that trying to escape from slavery was a mental condition.
Right. Right. Right.
They had a name for it, drapetomania,
Yeah,
and
man.
they also had a cure for it because they said, by they, I mean
Right.
white slave owners and white supremacist slave owners. They said that the condition was that the devil had taken over the slave, and the cure was to beat the devil out of the slave.
That's insane.
Also, you have to understand chattel slavery.
Right, right.
You don't need Willie Lynch
No.
once you have chattel slavery.
Right.
The laws of chattel slavery say that the child of a slave is the property of the master, no matter who produces the child of the slave.
Right. Wow.
That's why they had to invent jumping the broom,
Right.
because you couldn't get black slaves to reproduce, and that's actually even more valuable than buying slaves.
That's
If
right.
you want to have a lot of slaves,
Then you're born into slavery.
Then you have to get them to make more
Right.
slaves.
So
Otherwise,
then you
you have to
recondition them.
Right. One slave costs a fortune, so
Right.
you're not going to buy them.
Right.
People like Thomas Jefferson and George Washington had hundreds of slaves.
Right.
You're not going to buy all those damn slaves.
No, you're reproducing.
Right.
Right,
When
they're
you
reproducing.
when you can make it.
But
so when you had rules of chattel slavery, when you had a condition that you said slaves had for just contemplating, trying to get free.
Right.
When you had black women who, no matter where they produced children from, it was still the offspring was still a slave. Even if a free person.
Right.
If a free person had sex with a slave,
Right. The child is still
the
a slave.
child is still the property of that master.
Yep.
And a lot of times, in order to save the child from the abuse of the whip and being hung and really beaten, was that the mother would have to take on the role of beating the child first. So for
That's a great
hundreds of
analogy, man.
years, we have come through this system of completely beating the child into submission.
That's a great analogy. But we came out of that. Hence
Correct.
the 60s,
Correct.
70s.
But we never addressed it. That's the whole thing about reparations. The word reparations is about repair.
Right.
You can't, and there's a lot of things that need to be repaired that cannot be addressed simply by giving me more money.
Right.
Because
We have a
if
mental
you
thing.
screwed up,
Right. That's why we never got reparations.
Correct.
You know?
Correct.
The Jews got reparations.
Right.
'cause
That's
they
why
knew.
you see black movie stars lose their job because they beat the hell out of their wives.
Right.
Cats like the announcer guy used to be at New York One, Dominic.
I know you're
Carter.
talking- yeah.
And
I know you're talking about.
even other like the Puerto Rican guy who was the city councilor or something.
Right.
Beat up his old. But this is the kind of generational spare the rod, spoil the child,
Yeah, but now-
save the child by beating the devil out of them.
That mentality
that we
has
have
to
to
stop.
address.
But see,
that is correct. But you got to
we gotta talk about it.
You got to see it before you can.
Yeah, right. But we got. But the '60s, when there was segregation pre-civil rights, okay?
Right.
We were a community.
Right.
We loved our children.
Right.
We took care of our children.
They loved us. Our parents loved us. They were doing the best that they could.
Right.
But sooner or later, you've got to address some of the things that you came up under.
Right.
And stop pretending
That's exactly
that they
right.
were all good.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that I was confronted with growing up
Right.
that I had to say no more. Win, lose, or draw.
I'm with you on that.
No more.
I am
No
so
more.
with you on that
No
because
more.
when I grew up, I mean, I didn't get in a lot of trouble, but it was normal for my parents to hit me.
I got my ass whipped.
But my kids,
Right.
I didn't do that.
Right.
But they did understand authority.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Correct,
I didn't have to hit my children
Correct.
to say, get over here,
Correct.
like we got hit.
Correct.
So we had to break that. See, but not.
And you also have to confront the fact that by doing this, there are some challenges you're gonna have to address.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
like I get the hell beat out of me for sucking my teeth, rolling my eyes.
Right.
You know, now kids get loud with you and whatnot.
And curse.
Right. But you can't beat the hell out. You still gotta realize that this is a different time. You gotta be.
It's called child abuse now.
Well, yeah.
That's what they call it.
Yeah.
It's just
yelling at them is child abuse. And kids can do some stuff make you yell.
No. But not
kids
just.
can do some stuff make you want to break them on something.
But see, it's a way that you can see. It's about showing your kid what respect is. You have to respect your kid in order to show them that respect. You don't talk to me like this.
Correct.
You know, my kids don't talk to me like that.
Correct.
I wish my kid would talk to me like that. But my kids didn't grow up like that. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
I taught them that, you know what, have self-respect. When you have self-respect, you'll have respect for others.
For others. I like, a lot of people say respect has to be earned. I say no. Respect is given.
Right.
I give the same respect to homeless people
Right.
that I give to the
each other.
mayor,
Right.
to movie stars.
Right.
Respect.
Right.
You have to earn my disrespect. You
Right,
have to,
that's exactly right.
You got to actually do something to make me not respect you.
There you go.
What has to be earned is trust.
That's exactly right.
You have to earn my trust.
Right.
You have to make me see that I can put my faith in you.
Right.
That has to be earned. That's a process.
Right.
But respect.
See, that's my thing. I give everybody respect until you disrespect me.
But I respect myself, and when you respect yourself, when you teach someone to respect themselves, it's easy
to show respect.
To show respect. It doesn't cost you anything.
Somewhere along the line, something happened.
Right.
And I'm still trying to find out what happened. I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to blame it on a single-parent household. I'm not going to blame it on the rap music. Something happened, and I don't know what happened. You know, whatever it is, we need to identify. This is why we have
these. It's a combination of all of the above. I think if it was just any one thing, it would not be as formidable as it is. The mountain wouldn't be that much of a challenge. But the fact that there are so many components, the fact that we actually have to completely take a step back, reevaluate where we are and where we're going, and move forward from there, that is the ultimate challenge. And it's very, very difficult for people, especially American people, to admit that maybe you're not
as great as you think you are.
Maybe you need to change up on your tactics a little bit. People don't want to admit,
And see, Nat, I preach this all the time. If you've been doing something one way and it's not working, maybe you should rethink this. And I live by that. Everybody knows I live by that.
But in America, we are taught that if it's not the way that you are doing things that's the reason that it's not working. In America, we're taught it's everybody else.
Right. It's not your fault.
It's y'all.
Yeah, it ain't me.
It's y'all.
Right.
I did all of this. I did the right thing. You know, why is you cheating on me? I bring my paycheck home.
But you're absolutely right. See, that's why another Nat, you hit on that. I preach that. I teach that it ain't always everybody else. It starts with you. It starts with you. Well, this didn't work out for me. Oh, no, this didn't work out for me. I think it's your fault. No.
Even if it is everyone else, it's irrelevant. Because you are still confronted with the same thing.
That's exactly right.
I mean, ants don't blame the water in front of them, they keep moving.
Right.
They keep moving. Nothing stops the colony.
Right.
Nothing, and these are freaking ants.
Right.
You know,
Think about
there's
the
no
logic behind it.
obstacle that can stop them.
They keep
Yeah,
going.
Right. They make bridges of other ants and walk over the other ants.
And then they keep going on. They
to
keep
get
going
something
on.
to eat and bring it back to the colony.
But look at the colony. Look, you were talking about animals. Animals get this.
Right.
Look at the penguins and the North Pole, where in the winter.
That's right. They don't blame the obstacles.
No, they are all huddled together to keep warm.
And the obstacles is really at fault. The obstacles is really doing
nature is kicking their butt.
Nature is challenging.
Yeah. But they still didn't give up. They still
That's
became
irrelevant.
They still. If you look at how penguins work, it's where minus 60, and they're all huddled together.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? And they can blame the outside sources, right?
You don't see penguins sitting there going, "This is not fair."
They owe me. When is it going to be? Summertime, right? But now this is what I say: as our race, we need to. You said you hit it on the head. Take a step back.
Right.
We need to take a step back because seriously, I'm scared because. You know, I weep for the future of young black men and black women. And I hear these guys, mom and dad, listen, if your kid want to be an entertainer or a professional sports, we have enough of those. We have enough. We don't need any more
We don't
rappers.
have any entertainers. I mean, somebody... you sign a contract, then you go shoot up the damn disco. You ain't an entertainer. You a nut. I wish we had I wish.
It's from our generation. We had entertainers.
But not just our generation. Everyone else.
Right.
Ed Sheeran can play the hell out of a guitar.
Right.
He was taught his craft.
Right.
So you scratch nigga bitch hole on a napkin, talk about you the next Frank Sinatra. You're not an entertainer.
No, you're not.
You've never even learned your craft.
Right. To learn your craft in music is to learn how to read music.
Oh man.
We learn how to read
first
music.
First of all, you can never actually learn your craft if you choose music.
Right.
All you can do is continue to study your craft because there's always something else that you have not approached.
But it starts with, if you're an entertainer, if you play any instrument, I don't care how well you play it, you have to, I say this, you got to master it.
Correct.
By mastering it is learning every aspect of your craft.
You have to master learning because it's impossible to master music.
Right, because music is ever changing. But you need the basics now.
There's so many different. Yes.
You need the basics.
You can learn how to finger an instrument.
Right.
You can hear the notes.
Right.
But it's very, very difficult to master classical music, jazz, blues, world music, Latin music, country western, Hawaiian music.
But you got to learn
music. I mean, they have musics. Classical music in China is completely different from classical European classical music.
Right. But they
different.
have all one common denominator.
Correct.
They have one common denominator, and you got to be able to read it.
Correct. And
write it.
And not only that, but you have to be able to take the same body of notes, because there's only 12 notes per octave. You have to take this same body of notes that everyone and everything has approached since they invented them.
Right.
And do new creative things with them.
That. Right.
So you have to have an open mind as well as a disciplined mind to learn it and approach it in ways that other people have not approached it.
But something got screwed up. I want you guys to hit us up on social media, since we can't take a call today.
Right.
We need to keep having this conversation, and not only we need to We need to bring it back, man. We
do.
Because
we do.
you know,
we
just blows my mind, the ignorance.
We do.
I've never seen so much ignorance in my life. And I've been around the world 7 times. But America has to be the most ignorant place I've ever seen people.
Because there's so many opportunities to learn. I mean, there are places in Freetown in Africa that have been just decimated.
Right.
Decimated. Their children have been decimated by child soldiers and civil wars and blood diamonds.
Right.
Kids who have
Sierra Leone.
Yes, Sierra Leone,
Right.
who have Freetown, Sierra Leone,
yeah.
who have had their arms and legs cut off, bodies, and the children are in little shacks of schools,
Right.
wide open shacks, and they are fighting like hell to get
learn.
right,
To learn, yeah.
to learn,
Yes.
because they know how important it is for not just their personal survival, but the survival of their whole
people. But my question is, now what happened to us black people then? We had that. You see what I'm saying? I keep saying that.
Yes.
We had that.
Yes.
We had that. The Brown versus the Board of Education, where that little kid had the desire.
We
to,
made a way
to
where there was no way.
Right.
We were overachievers and overcomers.
And we never let a challenge beat us.
Right.
But
we expected the challenge.
Right. You know what? But I think it was, how are we going to win? That's what we said. How are we going to win?
Correct.
But I'm blown away that did something happen that we just gave up? Because we're not a people of giving up.
I don't think we see it as giving up.
What you have to see it.
Problem.
We have to see it's giving up.
But that's one of the biggest problems. We have taken this aberrant path to God knows what, but we don't see it as giving up. We laud this as some sort of baller type thing.
No, but it's not though. Now it's not.
Correct.
It's you know what?
Correct.
It's just, it blows me away.
Correct.
It's, you know what? See, in order.
And it's debauched. It's not even. I mean, it's not. You know. Licentious, or it's actually debauced. It's like
first thing
you
too,
have
Matt,
no rules. You
right.
murder your own children. You kill your own women.
Right.
Talking about some. I mean, there are no rules. There is no place for this in any society.
Right.
Gangsters through the history of gangsters in America. There was nothing worse than preying on your own.
Right, but see, even then, there was honor among thieves.
Correct.
You know, there were rules.
Correct.
There were rules. Even in the
rules.
criminal organization, even if you and I were enemies, we had rules.
Right.
You know, we had rules.
But and that's part and parcel to the problem. The only place where you can commit the kind of atrocities and get little and often no penalty for is in the black community. Remember I was talking about the black cop killed
the white in Minnesota.
Right. White cop, black woman, no problem. Black cop, black woman, no problem.
Right. Black cop,
white woman, big problem.
That you know what? And we need to stop. You know what? We need to stop.
Asian cop, black no problem.
The Asian police
black
officer.
criminal,
right?
Black woman, no problem.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
No problem. And it's gotten to the point. Remember when and they talked about this years ago. When the guy shot in the car and killed the Asian man,
right.
It was an Asian man,
right,
not a white man,
right.
When the guy just shot in the car and killed the black woman cop, black woman. not white woman.
Right.
So mentally, even we.
Right. We're conditioned.
I like to say that everyone, and they talk about the doll test, and they show the doll test.
The black and white doll. Yeah.
The black doll. But you know, black people are not the only ones who failed the test of aesthetics. Right. Black people are not the only ones who bowed to white supremacy. Right. Asians failed that test.
Yes, they horribly failed. They failed worse than we did.
Right. Asians pick white women as the ultimate standard of beauty over their own women. So everyone, to some degree, bows to white supremacy,
and that's crazy.
And that is crazy.
But you know what? But you know what is also what's also disturbing? The Asian community.
Right.
Okay, you got Asian, you got black, you got Hispanic. Guess what? We're all minorities.
Right.
But we hate on each other.
Well.
You see what I'm saying?
You have to remember that the European is a unique entity. Mm-hmm. Almost every other group has gotten in skirmishes and wars with those people in their immediate area.
Right.
You know, like Asians have had historical disagreements, the Japanese and the Chinese.
Right.
You know, arguments about Korea and but the European. And I say European because it's not just a European country. It's not France. It's not.
Right.
You know, but Europeans are the only group of people who have got in boats and went everywhere to places they didn't even know existed, specifically to colonize and maraud those places. So they are a unique group of people.
But you look at it. It's still going on today, Nat.
It is still going on today.
Just look at the country.
Right.
Look at Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Oh my goodness, Puerto Rico was. How is it you're going to pay all these taxes, but you're not represented?
Right.
You know, it blows me away but we Puerto Ricans are letting them get away with it.
Right. Puerto Rico has been colonized, and there's always immediate bump that the people don't look down the road at what is coming at them. It looked like Puerto Rico was going to benefit from its proximity to America, as opposed to, say, like the Dominican Republic, you know. However, 60, 65 years ain't that long.
No. It's our age.
Right. And in terms of the development of a people and a country, it's nothing. It's a drop in the ocean. Puerto Rico, if left unchecked, will end up like Haiti.
Oh, totally.
And
within a matter of 20 years.
Right. And this is a direct result of what colonization has done to giant countries like Africa, continents like Africa, continents like Asia, but little islands, Caribbean islands. It's devastated islands all over the world. Like I said, everyone is feeling is in the throes of white supremacy, and everyone has some mental issues because of white supremacy.
But the thing of it is, again, it goes back to this: one, address it.
You have to address.
That's first. As a minority group, or as a people, we don't want to look within first. We want to look out and blame everybody. But I'm gonna tell you that self-reflection.
But see, and you know, I'm gonna say this, and I can say this. I'm light-skinned. I'm light-skinned. I'm red bone.
And that's not even it anymore.
But well,
we've already had that conversation.
Willie Lynch has pretty much been dispelled as an actual occurrence. However, the Willie Lynch phenomenon, the Willie Lynch dysfunction is real.
Oh, it really is.
And the lighter you get, the more you start renouncing the African in you, and the more you acclimate yourself to the rules and regulations of white supremacy.
That is well said.
It's just a fact.
Do you know what?
It's just a fact. It's
Now,
just a
that
fact.
right there speaks volumes.
Yeah.
You know, that speaks volumes. And people, listen, man. It frightens me. All of a sudden, after seeing that, you know, this earlier this week, watching Tatiana.
Yeah.
But I'm more upset not that the reaction of the parents. I would expect it would be. I would expect if it were me, or if it were you.
See, there are different. Well, me, I'm like roguish. Like,
Right, so am I.
you know.
So that's why I say if it was us. If it was us.
But this is a group of these are people who have homes, who believe in their heart that all you got to do is
2 minutes.
I see. Good looking out.
Okay, good.
That all you have to do is the American thing. Puerto Rico thought that for a long time.
But look what happened to them.
Yeah, you know. But we convince ourselves of that a lot. But we got like a minute.
Okay, well, listen, guys. I want to thank everybody.
Yeah, I'm sorry about the phones.
But
It
now I
would
want
have
to
been
thank
good to hear
you
from y'all.
for keeping me on the show. I really appreciate you, brother. Thank you for
no,
me.
brother,
And
you're
people,
an
you know
asset.
what? I want to thank everybody for watching us, guys. I would love to continue this conversation, and Nat would as well. Hit us up on social media. You know Nat Wood and Greg Lassiter. If you don't know us, you can find us. Most of you guys know us. And I want to thank everybody for watching us. We're here to give it to you uncut and raw.
Right.
Remember this, shoot for the moon. If you miss, you're still among the stars. You get the last word.
Up ye mighty race, you can accomplish what you will. We actually got a full minute because I forgot to give
Now
Sheila
I'm looking at
my
this. I'm looking at that one.
See, mine is always
your clock is 40
wrong,
seconds. You're like 30 seconds left.
Right.
See what it is, guys?
This is sabotage. Y'all trying to do that.
We got 4 cameras and all 3 of the
Yeah,
cameras. My camera has the right time.
Yeah.
Your camera.
He might be telling the truth about light skin being out.
You're 30 seconds behind mine.
Yeah.
But you got the last. You got 12 seconds.
Thank you. I'm gonna look over there.
Yeah, look at this one.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
I won't be here next week. I won't be here next week.
No.
And you guys know this. Nat Wood's birthday is next Tuesday, the 25th. Thank you, brother.